to the Survivor Girl podcast, everybody. Happy Survivor Girl Sunday. I am so excited to be here today, and I am so glad that you guys are joining me. We are on episode 69, which is freaking incredible. I'm so happy about that as well. I have a lot of happiness and joy right now. I just gotta be honest with you guys. I feel like my bucket is totally full, and I am so excited about that. And I hope you guys are too. I hope that your guys' lives are going in that same pattern, same form, whichever. But first, before I get into telling you guys about all of that stuff and a lot of the fun stuff that I've got to do this week, listen to, books I'm reading, things like that, I first have to do the disclaimer and let you guys know that I am not a therapist. I am not able to treat, prescribe, do any of those things that the people pay the fancy bucks to go to school for. I am just simple old me, just here to share my story, my journey, different things that are working for myself, and just to hopefully help uplift and inspire you guys out there that are listening. So that's where I'm at. I cannot help with any of that stuff. I do appreciate the messages and the different things that come in onto Survivor Girl Podcast. We are on Facebook. You can reach us there. We appreciate that a lot. If there's something that comes across that we don't know how to help in that matter, we can help you guys hopefully get in the right direction and to the person that can help you out with that. So thank you guys again for tuning in. I can't believe it. Episode 69. So happy about that. I'm going to give my first couple shout outs first to start the show. Shout out to Dawn and Tony joining me in studio tonight. You guys are incredible. You guys have helped me out so much to get to where I'm at right here. And you guys are always here to help me stay positive and help me keep moving in the right direction. So thank you guys. And also, we were out at Tuscaloosa yesterday. So a huge shout out to all of them out there that put on the event. I have my Tuscaloosa shirt on. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, trying not to pull it up too far. But what an amazing event. They raised so much money for the Child Advocacy Center of Tuscaloosa County. Very important cause. Awesome event. 9 bands. The energy there was incredible. There was a lot of vendors there. There was food trucks. Another shout out to Shakey's on the Road. Holy moly, great food, you guys. It was incredible. I had people coming up to me and telling me that first they were recommending that I try certain things from the food truck. But they were also telling me that they wanted to know where they were at on the road because they want to go and try all of the food that they make. So huge shout out to them. They weren't the only food truck there. There's other ones there. So shout out to them as well. And the vendors. I got to meet Tony actually came over. He was walking around going and doing his thing, introducing himself and talking about the podcast, putting the word out there for everything we got going on. Talking to the different vendors that were out there. There was some really cool stuff happening. Buns and Roses. I didn't get a chance to ask why the name or, where that came from, but I'm hoping to actually get in touch with them and do the Survivor Girl Spotlight. We have been talking about that for a long time, and I'm starting to compile a list of the Survivor Girl Spotlight. So we're going to go and meet with different stores, businesses, people that are doing events, different things like that, do some little snippets for you guys, give you the information, get it out there, put it on the page, and hopefully, keep directing people to support local, get out there and do the thing. I mean, we have the holidays around the corner. A great challenge I would like to put forward. We don't want to rush too fast. I am enjoying this summer. We don't want to rush too fast, but I kind of want to put it out there for you guys to do the shop local thing. I talked, I think, with Terry. She was on, Terry from Infamous Quick, another incredible lady. Watching her on stage yesterday, I was like, I want to be her when I grow up. So cool. But she actually put out the challenge when she was on Don't Make This Weird, talking about supporting local, and what they had did for their family for this past Christmas is they actually went around, whether it was getting a gift certificate from these local businesses or purchasing these items and doing it. She said it was a little bit more expensive going that way. She said, but it was the best thing that they possibly could have done. So hopefully that story encourages you guys to get out there and try to do that as well. And now I'm going to get into talking about podcasts, not just mine, but other ones that I've been listening to while I'm at work. I'm back to Bronner's, which I love that place. It's a very cool place for me to work at. I love it. Some people ask me, how are you working there with Christmas music? Funny thing, I work in the back. I do ornaments all year round. Well, not all year round, for my season from all over the world. And back in my place where I'm at, I can put up pictures, positive stuff, anything that I want in my little cubby. I have my own little space that I work at. And the perk of working back there is I get to listen to different podcasts, different audiobooks, fun stuff like that. Not true crime. Talk a little bit about that. So I have come to find that listening to true crime kind of gets me sideways. It kind of messes me up a little bit. And it did a little bit when I was having issues with my adrenal gland that I had the mass on. It can boost you up and get your adrenaline pumping because you're listening to stories of people that have done bad things. But I've found it interesting to listen to these things because I have learned things of being more aware of my surroundings. So that was kind of where I was with the situation. And you better believe while I'm listening to this, I can't believe this person would ever do that. So that gets your adrenaline rushing, pumping, going. And on top of that, I drink coffee. Probably not a good combination. I'm doing these ornaments, these beautiful ornaments, listening to this garbage, I guess you'd say. And I'm doing these ornaments and one of the happiest places that you could be because Christmas, And I started to get a little bit too pumped up and I started to abuse my other adrenal glands. It was too much and I was seeing it and I stopped it. I pumped the brakes on that because it was getting to be too much. And, I had somebody reach out to me and say, it's a good thing that you realize that because I don't think a lot of us realize the stresses that we put ourselves on. Some of us, we have a list going, okay, this is stressful. And we're putting them in order of which is the most stressful to the least. But I finally am starting to realize that and I'm starting to get that inner awareness and trying to take better care of myself with that kind of stuff as well because it's a lot. Mentally, it's a lot more than physical. So in the whole spectrum of the whole scope of the whole thing, that's kind of where I'm at with it. So I put it out on my personal Facebook page to get different podcasts, music, audiobooks, things like that were uplifting. And I had a lot of people reach out to me and give me some really great suggestions. One second. Yeah, I get a little bit dry on podcast talking. But they gave me some really awesome suggestions of different podcasts to listen to. And I started to listen to some of those. But then I decided, okay, I'm going to type in positive podcast and see what I get. And I'm on YouTube, of course. And one of the ones that came up was Happier with Gretchen Rubin. And wow, then I find out it was 3 years old, the podcast is. But regardless, I took a lot of really incredible information from that. She has several books out there, and I believe she is a life coach in that category of helping to find out where your place is, where you're at with different things, the 4 habits, I guess it would be, and kind of how to break it down or whatnot. And I found it very interesting. What I had got, there's a quiz also. I have got to find the thing. I'm not prepared with that, and I'm sorry about that. But actually, I could probably pull it up here really quick. One second. You guys just hold on a minute. Let me get that information up here for you because I did actually send the link to Adam because I was wrong. I thought he was a questioner, but apparently when he took the quiz, it was different. All right, let's see here. Okay, so the quiz is at quiz.gretchenrubin, that's RUBIN.com, and it's called the 4 Tendency Quiz. And so it breaks that down. And if you guys can go and check that out, that would be awesome because it makes a lot of sense. Okay, now that I'm older, self-help section is so appealing to me. So appealing to me. And biographies because I love to learn about this stuff. But self-help and getting myself in shape, all these different things, that's all very, very important things to me. And listening to that podcast was very cool. She talked about signature scents. I never thought about that, but that can also play a role in your day to day and, different things like for her, like warm cookies, different stuff like that. She's got candles, different stuff around, not only just her signature scent of what she wears on a daily basis, but I thought, wow, that's really, I've heard of that before. I've heard of people talking about how scents can be tied to certain memories and different things like that. Good memories, bad memories, all kinds of different things. And I thought, wow, I remember that. Like growing up, me and my mom would go to this, it's perfume oil. It's perfume oil was the place. And it was in, I think, the 12 Oaks Mall around where we live at in Michigan. And that's a big, big mall. And we'd go there and there would be so many different scents and you could pick them out and you'd get these little bottles like this and you could get them like 5 of them for a certain price or whatever. And I remember she came back with this one and it's called Lestat's Castle. It is clove and cinnamon and sandalwood, patchouli. Like it's a mix of like really warm scents. And for me, like I love that. Like it was the only complaint I had was it would turn your skin a little yellow from the colors of the oil. But it was such a really cool scent and it brings back good memories for me. So I got to searching after I listened to this podcast about signature scents, and I come to find they aren't any longer in that mall, but they are in Holly, Michigan. So I'm taking a road trip, and I'm gonna go get me some of that stuff. But you can order online. There's all kinds of different scents or whatever on there. But I thought that was very interesting. And she goes on to talk about writing a book about color. And, growing up with my mom, I learned a lot of this stuff when I was younger. She'd talk about, like, if it's red in a restaurant, you'd eat more, or just different things with color. She talked about the Zen in your home. What is that called? Feng Shui. That was a big thing with my mom in our home. And I thought at the time, I'm like, yeah, right. Having stuff a certain way cannot bring balance into your life, whatever. I am so open up to all of this stuff now. After last year, after having the surgery and only having one adrenal gland, I'm like, hey, if this were like, if I have a little llama that puffs out a scent that makes me happy every day, I'm about it. We're getting that. You know what I mean? Like the little diffuser or whatever. I don't even care. So I'm all about trying to find these things that make you happier, that have your life more joy in your life, because really, if you're able to find that particular rhythm in your life and get down what it is, and you're learning how to have less stress and anxiety, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? So I've jumped on the bandwagon of this, and I'm enjoying the podcast. I got out the book for the 4 tendencies, and I'm learning. Apparently, when I took the quiz, I am what she considers an obliger. And that's an interesting thing. Come to find out, with being an obliger, I am very good at sticking to things that I have with other people. Like if my boss says, I need this by this time, you're working on this project, I need it packed up, I need it inspected and ready to go. I am hitting that deadline and getting it done beforehand at work. That's my thing. But if I'm setting up goals for myself, I'm getting up every day, I'm going to do the bike. Nobody else knows about it, but it's in my head. Yeah, that doesn't happen. So apparently she suggests finding like a yoga class. I tagged on in that earlier. Let's do this. Actually, that's going to be held here in our town with the person that owns Buns and Roses. So very cool. So I'm going to be looking into that. We might do a couple drop-in classes. I'll be like, Dawn, we're going. Let's go. So for me, it's accountability outside of myself. They talk a little bit about, because constantly I'm like, why can I be good for like 4 days? Like I can eat salads, I can drink all the stuff I'm supposed to. Well, I'm just using that as an example for 4 days. It's probably more like 2. But I can use that. I can do good and I'm on the right track. And then all of a sudden I get thrown off track. I go on vacation. I'm like, I can have ice cream. I can eat marshmallows and whatever else that's horrible for myself. If you guys eat them, I'm not dogging on you. We've all had our moments where we've eaten garbage cake and Oreo packages of Oreos, whatever. But so I'm not judging anybody because I've been there. The sweet tooth is strong with this one. So strong. So, and that was the thing. She talked about that with an obliger. And she breaks down the things. Okay, so like doing the class with her is probably about $120, guys. So I'm not looking into that right now, but I have got the book. I am starting to read that and learn more about it and trying to map out where I'm at. Of course, this episode is not sponsored by Gretchen Rubin, any of her books or affiliations, any of that stuff. It's just something that I looked into and I enjoyed this week. That would be incredible. I would love to have her on the show. So it's interesting because she has TED Talks and different things. So I've been looking at all of these different motivational speakers, all these different things, music, even Micro. I've been listening to the Micro podcast. He talks about, it's called The Way I Heard It, I think is what it's called. Very cool stuff, but it's positive. And guess what, guys? This past week has been awesome. I have had a great week at work, listening to different stuff. I stopped being short and angry. Tony and Dawn noticed that last week. I was fired up. We had a meeting, and it was just like I was tilting over to this not Heather pool. Like I was on this thing. And then I realized it, and I quickly turned it around and got myself back on track. And that's a huge step. Before way back when the Heather I don't know anymore, it was hard. It was hard for me to get back on track and figure out, okay, why am I like this? What is going on with me? I've met a lot of different people in my life recently that are about the light, are about like trying to find the positives and not be negative and not just constantly live in negativity and yuck. Like, it is hard, and it's hard to be around people that are like that all the time. I'm not, okay, first off, let's disclaimer, guys. I have, obviously, because I am human, I have been negative in my life. I have been toxic in my life. I have done things that probably hurt other people's feelings that I have hopefully made up for, and I apologize for. I am not perfect. Just because I have this camera right here and this microphone doesn't mean that I've got everything together. It doesn't mean that you have to take everything that I'm saying to heart, because I've been there. I've been negative. I've been one of those people that was constantly like, well, that's not going to work. Whatever. Like, this person's planning to do something, and yeah, right, okay, they're going to, but now I'm at that point in my life where I want joy. I want to be joyful. I want to be a light in somebody else's life. I want to be positive in somebody else's life. I want that more than anything. I want to be positive because you know what? It makes me feel better. And that's selfish, but it's not. I used to think it was selfish. Now I'm going, okay, if you want to live the best life, like I always talk about, you have to walk the walk. You can't just preach it. You can't just talk about it. You have got to walk it. You've got to be that person. I've talked a lot on this show about things that I know that I am not perfect about, and I do that for a reason, because I want to show you guys that I am human. And if it comes up later on, well, Heather this or Heather that, well, hey, yeah, Heather was. But this is where I'm at now. I'm on a completely different journey. And sometimes I worry when I say things like that, because when you reach that point and you feel good about life and you feel good about the direction that you're going in, there's some things that will probably come up and I'll be like, trying to test me. It's trying to test me. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to stop. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying to get that inner peace and joy and live the best life. There's so many things I have on my bucket list that I want to continue to keep crossing off, and I'm going to because that's what I want. And I hope that you guys are doing the same out there. I hope that you guys listen. Like, go peruse the help self-help section, whatever, at the bookstore or online or wherever it is that you find your books. Podcast, positive, music that's uplifting. Find it. What sparks your soul? What brings that joy to you? If it's dancing in the kitchen in the morning with a cup of coffee, trying not to spill it on yourself, but dancing around having a good time, then do it, you know? Right, dance in the street, dance on like I've talked about that before. There will be songs that come on at the store, and I'm just like, whatever. I'm having a good time. I'm just let it go. Just do what I got to do. Just be myself, you know. And that has been a hard thing. Like in my past, being myself, that was really hard. That was very hard. And I still have my moments, but another thing I learned with listening to that podcast this past week that has helped me is she talks about scheduling your worry. Okay, that sounds funny, right? But I put on my calendar for next Tuesday. After I'm out of work and I'm at home, I put it on there that I'm going to have my worry session for like 15 minutes. And then after that's it. I know that sounds hilarious, probably like, why would you do that? Why would you schedule worrying or whatever? But it's funny because anytime anything that's come up this week that was something that I would normally worry about, I said, nope, Tuesday. And I write it down. By the time I get to Tuesday, do you think half of those things are going to be worries anymore? You think I'm going to still be like holding on to that going, oh man, that was such a worry? Probably not. I'm probably going to get to that point and go, why did I even write this down? And probably crumple it up and throw it in the trash. You know, I care about people. I do have feelings. And I'm trying, though, to not have so many. To try not to overthink everything because that makes you sick. And I'm not about that life anymore. I'm just not. So I had a couple people, like I've started back to Bronner's. And it's been fun. I wear a different wig like almost every day at work, so that's been great. And I want to touch base on this too. I decided that I was going to start trying. Well, I'm working on growing my hair back because there's some spots that I'm having issues with, whatnot. To me, like it bothers me. I've decided to start trying different hair colors, different styles, and wigs and whatnot because lots of years of harsh chemicals and dyeing and everything, that's kind of... So now I'm starting to finally get some more growth back, which is really cool and exciting to me. So I've been trying these different wigs and different styles, and I'm going to be getting some more, actually, because I want to try every kind I can. But it's been fun. Like, that's been exciting and fun. And it's been funny at work because I'll come in with a different hairstyle every day, different color. And they're just like, So, and I'm not afraid to talk about it either. I'm like, oh, I try different wigs and different. And that's so fun. Like, some of the ladies are like, oh, this one told me, she's like, I woke up today and I had to spend about 15 minutes just doing something with my hair. I was like, oh. I just put on my wig thing, my wig cap or whatever, and then put my wig on and go. I mean, pull it back because these are wild. Like, if I took the hair clip out of this, I look like I'm Janis Joplin / his love child. Yes. So, yeah, honestly, it's wild. It is wild. Maybe I'll take a picture after the show. But but that's fun. Like, I can laugh about this. I can enjoy it and embrace it, or I could be like, oh my gosh, I'm losing hair, and it's just, no. I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to enjoy it. And I mean, I don't even care. Like, I'm sure people are like, what is going on? Why is she? And if they come to me, I'll tell them, this is what's up. This is why. I told that lady that told me she worked on her hair for a lot. I said, oh, yeah, well, this and that. This is why. And she's like, oh, you don't have to tell me that. I said, I'm honest. Like, I am just sometimes brutally honest about things, So I thought about it. I'm like, this is part of living my best life. This makes me happy. Like, I get to try on all kinds of different hairstyles and figure out what I like. So then that way, when my hair fully grows back and it's thick and good, I can do, oh, I liked that style. Maybe I'll stick to it. Or maybe I'll just be like Dolly and wear whatever I want for the rest of my life in a wig form. It doesn't matter. But I do too. I love her too. She's got audiobooks out too, guys. Again, feed your brains. Give yourself some good stuff, wholesome, good things to listen to. feed them. If you don't like to read all the time, audiobooks are definitely the way. You got long trips, put on something. I don't have a subscription for any of like the Audible or any of those kinds, but I would. Like I've been thinking about it, but you can also go onto the library. There's different Libby, I think. There's some different ones on there, I believe. You guys, there's so much resources, so many different things. Yeah, there's some on YouTube. The one I always constantly talk about, Jen Sincero. You are a badass. That one's on there. Check it out. You need a fire up under your butt. Put on something positive. Honestly, it has changed my past week. I know now that if I am struggling, I can go, okay, where are you? What are you doing? Why did Heather do that? That is a question around here often. But again, I'm okay with that. If it makes me get my shit back together and on track, if you have to ask me why did Heather do that, okay then. Fine. That's fine. If it gets me going in the right direction, then that's what I'm doing. Again, last week we talked about saying no, being okay with that, doing your thing. If it's too much, no, sorry, not sorry. I hate that. Thank you for understanding. That was the word. Thank you for understanding. You know, that has been this other part of my journey this past week is saying, just being honest about it and being like, I can't do it. If I cannot do it, I'm not going to force myself to do it. I just, you have to find that balance. So last week when I was like sideways and a little bit off, I was ready to move to some property in the woods with a gypsy cart and call it good. Didn't even care. Wi-Fi or not. That was just kind of where I was. And the thing is, you guys, I don't even have kids. So all you moms and dads out there, I don't know how you do it. I'm just trying to wrangle my own mind and self and get myself and keep myself on track. So I give props to you guys because I was just like, nope, no. And I've also made a decision this year. I have hours at work, like at my disposal when we get busy. I'm not pushing myself. If I feel like I can do it that day, then okay. But I'm not listening to somebody else this year telling me, oh, come on, just stay over. I'm staying. No. Good for you. Your check will be really worth the reward for you. But for me, it's my inner peace. It's what I need. And I don't feel selfish about that at all. I'm moving forward with the different things in my life and having that energy and feeling that amazement of going, okay, wow, I have come so far. I used to just accept things to just accept them to make people feel good, and I don't want to do that anymore. Is that okay? Like, really? I'm not accepting it. Okay. I appreciate whatever, but I'm moving forward, guys, and you should too. Come on. Don't just accept things. Stop just accepting. I mean, other people's behavior, people that are, we talked about this last week, people that are family and friends, just because they have a feel, whatever, doesn't mean you have to accept it. Doesn't mean that they can treat you bad. No, that's not how it should work. Not how it should work. I got one thing, I guess, over here on YouTube. Oh, got people like, you guys are tuning in. Thank you. I appreciate that. Episode 69, you guys are awesome. Adam says, checking in, sounding great. Tuscola Palooza was great. You guys, it was great. It was great. Hard-working bands, hard-working board members that put it together. The Cap'n Wade, who had the event at his house, is a beautiful property. Oh, man, was it cool. It was so cool. And the best part of it, some people are still trying to keep their distance. You could out there. You really could. You had the pick of the property of where you wanted to go. And that was cool. That was a very cool thing. but just to listen to the bands and how eager they were to play. I want to give a shout out to the Sugar Punk Fairies. Those girls, oh my gosh. Lead singer Emily. You said 8 months pregnant? 8.5? 8 months pregnant. Lead singer up there giving it her all. And Flint Santa, he was up there every band at the front of the stage dancing. He is an older gentleman and he was living his best life. He Chris had mentioned, he said there is nobody here that has gotten more of their money out of their ticket than Flint Santa. Really nice dude. Very, very nice guy. And he was all about supporting the bands and being there. It was incredible. But man, those ladies, Robin, Holly, Emily, all of them killed it. Yeah, very much so. Stacy, sorry, I kept on wanting to call her Cassie. I'm horrible with names, but awesome. I mean, okay, so first off, a shout out to them because the look of the band in general, they pull it together. They all look amazing. Even the drummer is gorgeous. Stacy, she's gorgeous, just up there, just drumming her heart out and sweating. But I was like, wow, what? Heather Metal from Turbulence, another shout out. These ladies also, and Terry from Infamous Quick, they all were rocking. All of them ladies were proudly supporting Dragonfly Boutique as well, and I just thought that was awesome. I appreciated that. We did raise proceeds for the Child Advocacy Center of Tuscola County from jewelry sales, and that was so cool. Very cool. I had a lot of people saying, thank you for doing that, whatever, and I wasn't thinking about it that way. It was just like, I want to do good, and I'm continuing on trying to find things to do good. Do good. Even if it's just like buying somebody a coffee in line or whatever. I just want to do good. It makes you feel good. And when your heart's in the right place to do something like that, it makes you feel good. If you're not just like, oh, I just want the recognition. What? Stop. No. But it did. It makes me feel good to be able to support and be a part of something like that. So I want to give a shout out and a thank you to everybody. Eric, Terry, all the people on the board, Wade, everybody that had the event out there. A huge shout out, not just for myself, but for Don't Make This Weird and Strange Friends Media, for Dawn, Tony, myself, Chris. We thank you guys so much for putting on an event like that and for the success of it, honestly, and all the hardworking bands. And also a huge shout out to staff, security, everybody that volunteered their time to be out at that event. You guys, huge shout out. Shout out to Adam too for watching the booth when Dawn and I were up enjoying the Sugar Punk Fairies. Tony, everybody coming out and helping set up everything like that. It was so cool. And seeing Denise and Chris was also a very, very cool thing. So yeah, just a huge shout out. Like my heart, like I said, my bucket is full. So overflowing. Like I feel so good about this right now. And I'm trying to remember this, okay? When you guys get into these feelings and you feel good about the way that your life's going and the things that you're doing and, just the things that you're trying to accomplish within yourself. Remember this feeling right now. Think about that when things start to kind of go sideways. Think about this feeling. Don't forget if you get into those moments to remember this feeling, because then you can pull yourself hopefully out quicker than going the other way. Stay on the straight and narrow and try to accomplish what it is that you guys are going after. And always, like, I still have a hard time with the meditation and stuff. Like, I know it does good. I know it's very helpful. And I saw some of you out there are probably like, oh, meditation, whatever. But honestly, I have tried it before. I fall asleep often when I do it, though. It's one of the big things. Like, I think you're supposed to still be conscious after they're done, and you're supposed to, yoga the same way. The yoga, like Tony, we did the same yoga, right? And at the end, they have you on the ground and, like, just stretching out and breathing and doing the thing, and it's so peaceful and relaxing there. I'm trying to place both words together. And then at the end, even in that position for yoga, like I would fall asleep during it too. So I was just so comfortable. So obviously that's a good testimony right there because you're relaxed enough. But I don't think we keep those placeholders in our brain when things start to go sideways and we have these anxieties and different things that the world is throwing at us. I think we forget about that. I think we forget about these feelings and the things that we can do to bring ourselves back down and to get our minds focused and straight to continue to keep moving forward instead of trying to off kilter. One of the other things that I've learned this week is about fear. Fear being the main two things that I guess from what I have, and I might have to do some more research on this too. Maybe I'm talking too quickly here, but two of the things that I've heard that fear that we're instilled with growing up is the fear of loud noises. And what was the other thing? There was one other fear. Gosh dang it. I was so prepared and ready for this one. Loud noises, and I think something to do with like surrounding, or no, falling, I think it was maybe. No, dying. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So the fear of being put in a situation where you have to fight for your life, and loud noises. So to be aware of your surroundings. So I was listening to that on one of the podcasts, and I'll try to get the link on there so you guys can listen to that as well. Dawn, if you can give me that note, it's something the mindfulness, but mindful mentor or something. And I'm sure I just butchered that completely, but I'll get it out to you guys. One of the things was talking about that and the fear of the loud noises and the fear of trying to keep yourself alive. Now that makes sense. But when your brain, for even the smallest things, like when you're trying to go and start something new, a new adventure, a new whatever, even if it's like a trip or whatever, I get anxiety on road trips. I have no control when I'm in the passenger side and somebody else is driving. Not a fun feeling. Don't like it. Okay. But with the whole thing of those two things being a fear, everything else that our brains tell us in between to keep us from doing these things, we have to learn how to, work through that and cancel it out to not continue to live in fear. That's a hard thing. That's like a tall order though. That is a very tall order. And I've experienced that a lot in my life, even sometimes now. Like I said, the worry thing, scheduling worry this past week, just having that in mind. You know how many things I've shut off because of that? And I'm not saying that I'm not still like mindful about stuff that really could be hazardous, obviously. I did not drink at Tuscaloosa because I knew better. But no, just kidding. But the thing of continuing to be mindful about those things, but to not completely live in fear. My heart goes out to people that deal with that much fear in their life that they are not able to go outdoors. They're not able to live their life. They're not able to do those things. Thank you guys for the water break. I need it. Yesterday was so hot out at Tuscaloosa. I'm still trying to get that hydration back, and I've not been a huge fan of water throughout my life. It's just not been my thing, but I'm trying so hard. My mom would be so proud of me. But anyway, back to that whole idea though with the fear. Listening to that podcast was also another like eye opener of those different things. I even listened to some of the Joe Rogan Experience. I kind of, I was talking with somebody else about that. I think it was John before he came on podcast actually. And he said that he likes to listen to Joe Rogan, but sometimes his ideas and his his beliefs are sometimes some of the things that kind of throw him off from it. And I'm just really starting to dive into that. Everybody's been kind of like Joe Rogan listen to Joe Rogan, and I'm kind of listening to some of that stuff, but it was interesting. It's interesting to hear these things. Like I said, I'm feeding my mind with different things. So when I'm focusing and listening to those things or doing something that makes me happy or feel joy, I really don't have much time for the anxiety and that fear that I continually was holding on to. And I found that in this past month that I was kind of still holding on to some of my old self. And that's not a comfortable place to be at, holding on to some of my past and some of my old ways that I used to be. I don't like living in that anymore. And it's hard to get that push. Like, when you study about like birds and they're growing up and then getting ready to fly, and like they pretty much parents have to kick them out of the nest to get them to go. Like I kind of feel that sometimes still with trying to get rid of the old me, still appreciate who I was, but definitely hold closer to who I'm becoming and who I am now. And I kind of feel that whole getting kicked out of the nest feeling from it kind of, but only ourselves really can get us to that point. You have to fly. Good. Yeah, very good. Very good. You have to. We hold on to so much. I've seen that. I've seen that a lot in my personal experience in my life, all 41 years. It's not, I've held on to a lot. And also in the form of things, possessions. I had a really good conversation at work this past week with some different ladies, and we were talking about how we hold on to items that people give us, that we inherit, different things like that. And it was crazy how much, and the age difference between all three of us. There's an older lady, a lady that was younger than myself, and then here I am in the middle between the two. And we came together actually on this conversation. And one of the things that I had mentioned is, even though I'm not a huge fan of Walmart because I worked there for too long, they do a thing. And I'm pretty sure that I think there's other companies I'm sure you can do this on. Probably like, gosh dang, I can't think of where we get our Vistaprint and different things like that. So they have photo books. For myself in our home, too much clutter causes chaos as well. And when I'm trying to find this inner peace and declutter and get my life back on track, if there's a bunch of stuff just kind of hanging out around me that I don't use and it's just there, or I do use it but I'm not very good at putting it away, whichever it is, I've come to find though that like I hold on to stuff. I hold on to too much. So the conversation anyway that we were having is about these books. And, the younger one had mentioned about, like graduation things and stuff like that. And, so one of the things that we were talking about was taking pictures of these things and making these little books. Yes, you'll have these little books. They're not very big, but they're thin too. And you can put captions on them and say, okay, this was from so-and-so. And then if you look at it, because some of the things that they talk about is that sparking joy, items in your life that spark joy. But then in the reality of it is that we can get caved in by stuff. We can get overwhelmed and too much chaos of it. So by putting those pictures of those items, excuse me, in the book, you can open up that book. It's not like holding it, but that will still spark that memory. And you can write who it was from, when you got it, whatever, And then if you're not using it, it's time for somebody else to love it, somebody else to enjoy it. Speaking of that, while we're on the subject of clearing out, decluttering, and doing that kind of thing, donate, people, donate. Okay. Hope Thrift, right? You want to talk about it? Let me get a drink. I'm going to need some more wind here. Okay, so Tony and his family have been helping out at this new thrift store and shop in Carroll. Last podcast on Don't Make This Weird, we had John, who is one of the managers there, right, at this thrift shop. He is the manager. He joined us on Don't Make This Weird. If you go and listen to that, which is archived on YouTube, you can hear a little bit more about this story. I'm hoping to actually get him on Survivor Girl because he's got a story if he wants to share it with you guys. I would love to have him on. So Michigan House of Hope, it is actually, is that the name of the thrift store? Hope Thrift. Okay, so this is in our town. Some people don't take kindly to it. Some people are all about it and want to help it and see it thrive and everything like that. This thrift store, their prices, not only are they incredible, but they have families that have gone through fires or husbands or wives that are going through divorce and just getting back on their feet. We've been there before, guys. We've been there. You starting over is super hard. There's people that are couch surfing and trying to get their life together and are actually considered homeless. Vets that are homeless, people, whatever circumstance, that are homeless. And they want to do good in our community and they want to help these people. They want to be able to pay it forward and not because of the glory of it. They want to help people with that whole idea of it. Eventually they want to turn part of it into a homeless shelter. I don't know all the details that I can share with you guys. But yeah, one second. But it's for a great cause. And I'm thankful that they're here. I'm glad that they're here in town. And it was very humbling to meet somebody because I have not had to face homelessness, and I'm thankful for that. But to listen to other people's stories that have been, I do kind of want to add some more people onto the show so that I can help understand that. I don't understand a lot of it, and I want to know people's stories. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get some people on. But I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic over to Tony, and he's going to talk a little bit more about that while we have a little bit more time, and then we'll go ahead and get into shout outs before we end the show and a little bit more of a positive note before we go.
Well, last count, actually, what is going on here? Hold on. Hopefully you guys can hear me a little better. Let me fix this. Is that good? That should be good. There we go. All right. Last count, I think there was 20 or 30 different churches involved with representing the Cairo community and the surrounding communities, bringing donations in and just helping get the word out. Colwood, the church that we all attend, has been a huge advocate for this. Anchor Cove is another one. And that's just to list a couple. There's, like I said, there's 20 or 30 churches. But it's incredible because the back room is from floor to ceiling in donations. So that is a huge marker that the community is 100,000% behind it.
And it is. It is very loaded to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And they're still accepting donations.
Yeah, and that's the thing is they're going to be doing some revamping stuff similar because they also have a store in Sandusky that we have sent stuff over, and they've sent stuff over to us because they're rotating stock and so on and so forth. But yeah, John, you guys seriously, we encourage you go watch that episode on Don't Make This Weird. Obviously after this, but it was such a humbling experience being there day in, day out, and seeing some of the people that come in and seeing the community just reaching back out and going, how can we help?
Yep. It's very incredible. And to be able, I don't want to get too much into John's story because I'm hoping that I'll be able to have him join, but he himself has been homeless at one point, and this is where his heart's at to be able to give back. And, there's so much more to that story. So I'm hoping that I'll reach out to him this week and see what I can do to get him on the podcast so that you guys can hear his story as well. Or one of us will reach out to him this week. But so this is a huge thing in our community. And there's also the Kids Closet in town. They take donations as well. And Revive. I've talked about Revive in Cass City also. Another great one. So if you guys do have, I know right now they're not taking donations at either of those other places. But I'm always sure that, with help, you can volunteer your time if you've got time to be able to do that. Even if it's a half an hour, whatever, it's still a really good cause to be able to donate that time. So if you guys are able to do that, you can get in contact. This card has Jeff on it, the executive director. You can call him or maybe even text. It looks like it's a mobile at 1-810-414-4673. His name is Jeff Kramer. He is at the Michigan House of Hope for Hope Thrift. Oh, okay, wonderful. So you guys can also contact if you get onto Hope Thrift on Facebook and check that out. So you can donate your time. You can, I think they take monetary donations as well. If you're not from around the Cairo area and you want to help out to this cause, reach out to them. Tell them that you have listened to Survivor Girl podcast. They'll know who you're talking about. and hopefully we're all able to go ahead and help push this forward and help out as much as we can to get this, help these people get rehabilitated, help them get back on their feet. It's all for a great cause. And, I pray that none of us ever have to be in that situation. And that's kind of where my heart's at with it. I want to be able to help another person up, and I want to help the future people that might face that. Joy Street. 102 Joy Street, you guys. It's the old TACA building. That's where they used to do the play. It's a church. It's a historical, beautiful building. But that's not what it's about, you guys. It's not about the building. It's about building up the community and those that are facing homelessness and whatever it is that they're facing right now. That place is absolutely there to help people get back up. And I'm about it. We're all about it here. So, some more shout outs. Again, this episode is not sponsored by anybody. If you want to have part in this Survivor Girl podcast or the episodes, any of the podcasts at Strange Friends Media, please get in touch with us, and we'll talk about having some sponsors. I would love that. But we do like to support local, so we're going to talk about a couple different places that we love ourselves. One of them is Stone Cottage Farm of Mayville. We love them. They have great goat milk soap. Favorite, of course, because I'm a coffee junkie. Coffee and cinnamon is amazing. They also have a plantain salve that is equally just as awesome. And if you are able or in the area, they do farmers markets. I think there's one in Flint that they do, but you can check it out on Facebook to know where they're going to be at. They make amazing bread, which I can't eat, but I still love her for making it. It smells good. And also spiced rum packets, soap koozies to go with your soap that you're going to purchase. I know you're going to want to. And also they have different milk shares. I don't know right now because it's past the kidding season, but go check them out on Facebook, support them. They have an Etsy shop. You can see what scents are available and what they have available to sell. Go support. The first ingredient is love, so who doesn't love that? Honestly, come on, guys. Get that sunshine in your life and smell good while doing it. Also, thank you. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to Dr. Shelson, Matthew J. Shelson. It is, oh my gosh, the holistic doctor here in town. Incredible. Shelson's Natural Health LLC here in Caro. But you don't have to be. Here's the thing. You don't have to be in Caro to be treated by them, okay? They treat people all over the world. That's what's amazing about this. So you can see Dr. Matthew J. Shelson, PhD. Oh my gosh, you weren't even kidding. I thought you were always making that up. It's LHMP. I really did. They're located at 21 North Elmer Street here in Caro. Their phone number is 1-855-672-2600. And mine and Tony's doctor, Dr. Caitlin Grummel. She is awesome. We do love her. We have different people though that we know that see Dr. Shelson. They love him equally too. So we're on this journey of trying to figure out our health naturally and try to get balanced. And Katie has been helping us. She has been helping us with that. So she also has been really vocal about trying to help my body help itself. I love that. I love that a lot. Listening to me, what I know is going on, and then doing. She's getting the whole gist of what I've got going on, which I wrote a hot mess. I'll have you guys know I'm a little less hot mess. I'm a little less hot mess because of her. So a huge shout out to her. Very, very grateful for that. Same place, though, you guys. You can see Dr. Katie. You can see Dr. Shelson there. It's at Shelson's Natural Health LLC. Again, the phone number is 855-672-2600 on Elmer Street here in Caro. So you can follow them on Facebook as well. So those are my shout outs. Again, a big thank you again to Tuscola Palooza because, man, I'm so excited. Oh, you got something?
Actually, yeah, it's Goro187. Hello, I was at Taco Bell last night, and the guy working the register overheard me talking about Twitch. He wrote down your channel name and said you are a top-notch and high quality. You are top notch and high quality, and that I should check you out.
Oh.
He also gave me a free Baja Blast soda.
Oh my God. See, it pays to know people that are positive.
That's right. Well, and we had some other
Thank
one
you.
out here.
Thank you.
Rapsun67 said, "Oh, I think I had a different type of survival in mind when I clicked your stream."
It can be different from week to week, honestly, but I mean it is different because I do talk about the basis, guys. If you're still hanging out,
Yeah.
is that I am a cancer survivor and a bunch of different things. I survived a stalker, lots of other different things and adrenal gland stuff. So I also I do have, if you guys go back to the YouTube channel, there are other 68 episodes that are archived there. You can check it out. I've had different survivors on the show that talk about their story as well. So yes, it's not like survival. We're going out to the woods to make that happen. I mean, even though I find that interesting, I really, really do. But I thank you guys for joining and talking about that. Thankful, like that's cool. You got a free Baja Blast, and whoever that was that gave me the shout out, thank you for that. And I thank you guys so much. I'm on Facebook. Yes, Survivor Girl Podcast is on Facebook. You can check that out. We're on Twitch. We're on YouTube. And re-aired on solidstateradio.net as well.
I survived my Uncle Lewis Chili Mac shudders.
Oh my God. Nice. Nice. All right. So yeah, go ahead. You can check those other episodes out. They are archived on YouTube. Danny Wesmond, Crystal LaFay, Jan McKee. There we go. Sorry, guys. She's got another like name hyphened in there, and I do that. Even though I love her, I'm just horrible with names, you guys. Go check those out. Those are some that I recall. Roxanne Baholka. Oh man, we've had so many different people on the show and that have shared their stories. It's Travis French. Yeah, thank you. And they're not easy ones to listen to. Some of them are not very easy to listen to, but they talk about how they've thrived and they're surviving now. So it really does. I hope it helps to uplift and inspire others to just keep on going and keep moving forward. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know we are winding down here. Again, I talked about podcasts and uplifting and things that you can do. Start your days off. Here's the thing. Start your day off with some positivity to keep yourself moving forward. Don't think about the past of things that you've had to face. Think about where you're at right now and what you want to accomplish. I love coffee in the morning and putting on some good music and dancing and not trying to spill it on myself. I love getting up in the morning, and I keep that positivity the best that I can to make sure that I continue to keep that through the day. People are going to talk. People are going to do what they're doing because they're in their own lane. Let them stay over there, keep cruising along, keep moving forward. Yeah, really, like once you figure that out and you're just like, I don't want that in my lane, buckle up because I am speeding out of this place. You're right. Honestly, once you finally get to that point and you're just like, I don't get me wrong, like I am not a cold-hearted, calculated person. I love people, but I don't love that. Like I do not love that. So anyway, we're winding down here, guys. That's the shout outs. That's the love. I appreciate every single one of you that listen, that support, that hit the subscribe button, the bell, so you know when I'm live. Look forward to doing the Survivor Girl Spotlight so I can help to put businesses out there and the different things. And also moving on to, oh man, I don't know if I want to put this out here because that means that I have to be held accountable if I do this. Motivational Mondays, guys. Motivational Mondays. I'm going to do my very best to wake up with that cup of coffee and talk to you guys through messy makeup and hair or whatever, just the real me, legitly giving you some motivation on your Monday mornings. So be prepared because I'm going to be learning how to run my own system at home because Tony don't want me showing up looking like a hot mess in the mornings. But you guys are going to see it, and I hope you love it because we're going to be motivated for Monday and get it together, you guys. We're going to work through the week and make it back to Sunday. So there we are. I thank you guys again. You guys are amazing. I love the support and how you guys are raw and real with me, how you message me, let me know where you're at in life. I am excited to be here right now with you guys. So with that being said, staying in your lane, living your best life, doing the thing. Remember, Life is best lived, guys.